Self-Love is the New Sexy, the podcast devoted to helping you overcome life's most painful and stubborn challenges so you can feel great, have more energy, and live stress-free every day. To reach your full potential, simply work with the powerful spiritual principles that are readily accessible to everyone. It's easier than you think, and on today's show, W. Mark Watts is going to show you how starting with self-love is the key to joyously and harmoniously making that happen.
Hey everybody, it's W. Mark Watts. Welcome and thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Self-Love is the New Sexy. And the topic of today's podcast is what's causing your physical pain? What's causing your physical pain? Now, again, this is not medical advice. You having any problems, issues, pains, please see your doctors. Today's topic is just simply what my experience has been, and for educational purposes only, my specific opinion. So again, if you're having serious issues, please see your doctor and have everything checked out. Now, having said that, I want to talk about something that I know to be very important because it's happened to me, and I'll give you an example of what happened to me and just how I kind of resolved it. And it's so important because many times when we aren't loving ourselves the way that we should, it can cause mental, emotional stress. We constantly think about it. We worry about it. It becomes second nature, and we don't always understand the correlation. We don't understand that we feel these emotions because we aren't taking care of ourselves the way we should. Now, the next step of that is if we allow that process to continue for extended periods of time, and we really focus on it, and it really starts to bother us, it can lead to physical issues in your body. You know, most commonly headaches, migraines, but it also can lead to many other physical symptoms as well. And I'll give you one in a minute that I know I experienced for myself. Now, just a little bit more about what am I talking about. I want to put some phrases on it. I learned this new fancy term, so I got to share it with you, called somaticizing. So that's when you allow these mental and emotional stresses to create pain in your body. Soma, one of the root words, is Latin, means body. So when you somaticize, you're transferring emotional and mental states into your body, and it can manifest in physical symptoms because your body is energy. We are energy. Now, I'll let you look that up, and that will be a topic for a totally different episode, but we all are energy. The universe is made up of energy. Thoughts are energy. And when we have these negative thoughts, these painful thoughts, these emotions that we aren't willing to look at, review, release, which is what we should be doing, then the body starts to act out because the body doesn't know better. It takes your guide, it follows your lead. And so it has channels, emotional channels that will store these negative, these energetic thoughts in order to try and remove them from you. And when they maximize the space that they hold within the body, bing, bing, we get pain. You can get pain. And we automatically think, what happened? Did I hit myself? Did I sleep wrong? Why am I feeling these types of pains? And most times, or many times I should say, there won't be physical reasons. You will not have done anything physically that's causing that pain. So how do I know this? I know it from experience. And this was when I first started down the path of looking at alternative means for physical issues that I was encountering. And I would go to the doctor. So let me just tell you exactly what it was. So I was having pains in the middle of my back, just numb on the right side, just numbing aches and pains And it was more like a prolonged ache. Sometimes it would be stronger, more intense. Sometimes it would just be a nagging pain, but it was there all the time. And I had no idea what caused it. It was in a place where you can't really sleep wrong, no matter what kind of stretches you do, no matter how much heat pads you put on it, ice on it, would not go away. So ultimately I started thinking, well, maybe there's something wrong with my back. So let me go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor. Doctor didn't understand, didn't know what was going on. Gave me x-rays. Everything came back negative. Went to another doctor, same process. Went to another doctor, same process. Everyone kept telling me there's nothing wrong with your back. And I'm telling you, there is something wrong with my back. Tremendous aches and pains every day and night, not going anywhere. So of course I started to really do more research. And this is what started me down the journey of learning that we are energetic beings and that there's other ways to resolve that and what causes those pains, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I came across the research, and there's another process that I use, and then I'll explain that in another episode, but I want to get into it here. I want to keep this one kind of short and tight like I always do. But there was a process that I started to use because I thought maybe there is an energetic block in my system, in my back, that's causing these aches and pains. Just so happened, this back pain started after my divorce. The root cause I found out was I was feeling guilty because I was very concerned about how the divorce would affect my son. And if it, of course, was thinking it might have a negative effect on him. How was he feeling? Was he hiding emotions? Just so worried about him and how this was going to turn out for him, that it ultimately manifested itself in my back, in the middle of my back, in this aches and pains. So I used an energetic process, and I don't remember because it's been quite a while now since that happened, that I don't know exactly how long it took me to completely remove that pain. But I can tell you with certainty that I was able to relieve that pain and aches and pain in my back myself through an energetic means. And it didn't take drugs. It didn't take any kind of other special doctors. The problem was rooted in my mental, in my emotions, the thoughts that I was thinking, that concern, that worry that I would not let go of, that I would not release, ultimately manifested itself in my body and did what? Caused me physical pain, aches. It was nagging because, I'm not the type to go to the doctor just haphazardly. So in order for me to go to the doctor and have them check on my back when I know that I haven't done anything to hurt myself physically, that really lets you know just how much it was bothering me. It was a pain. It was horrible. And then it became even worse when all the doctors looked at me and told me I was fine. And I knew that I was not fine. That ache never left until I started to deal with the emotional side of this pain, that I was able to connect to where it was located in my body. There's a little process and there's steps to it because each part of your body, your organs, correlates to certain types of thoughts. And so once you can make that connection, then I started to work on relieving those emotions energetically. And before you know it, all that pain went away. And guess what? It's never come back. I've never taken any painkillers, any drugs, no shots, no nothing, no braces or anything. I've never done anything physically for my back, but I was able to relieve that pain, and it left, and it's been gone ever since. And so I'm saying all this to say is it's super, super important for 100 million reasons that we take care of ourselves, that we love ourselves, so that we can minimize that high level of stress emotionally and mentally that can ultimately manifest pain and problems in our physical body, because our body its only job, it knows that if we're in distress, and it will try and remove that. It will take that energy, those thoughts, and it will try and store them, hoping that at some point they will be released and removed. But if we don't know to do these things, if we don't know to pay attention, if we don't know to look for alternative means of maintaining our own health, our own energetic, emotional, and mental health, then these things can continue to manifest. And if we don't ever take care of them, those pains can start out in one form of fashion, and it can migrate, it can get bigger, and then it will become a huge problem, and then it will become a physical problem that will require drugs and braces and potential surgeries, et cetera, et cetera. So not to be a downer, I just want to make a note that sometimes when you have physical pain, in particular aches, that you know you've not done anything physically to yourself, then it's time to start looking at the mental, the emotional aspects of, and is there a possible connection between the two? And then if we can find that connection, then we know there's a process that we can use to start to eliminate that pain and suffering energetically. But it all starts with awareness, being aware that you're not taking care of yourself the way you should. And then let's start analyzing, paying attention to our thoughts, where we're stressed out, what's causing these emotions and the mental states that we have come across, and make that connection so that we can get better. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Be aware there's a connection between physical pain and your mental and emotional wellness. All right, talk to you again soon. Bye now.
You've been listening to Self-Love is the New Sexy with W. Mark Watts. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to tell a friend. Also, make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you listen to podcasts.